My name is really Tom Ado.
Yo! Welcome back to another PokéSpot Draft Cup 4 video. Last video we introduced the coaches and their franchises. This time we'll break down what mons are legal, how we drafted, and most importantly, what everybody drafted. All shenanigans included. Link below to the previous video if you missed it. Let's not waste any time though. For PDC, our ban list and tier list are almost always tailor-made to our playgroup. This is because we like doing things our own way. If you ever wanted to participate, shameless plug, there is also another link in the description to join PokéSpot for the next one. We will be having PokéSpot 5 in the spring if all goes according to plan. As for the tier list, I try my best to look for ones that are more vetted, more tested by a number of people like other orgs. But this time around, since Gen 8 didn't have any tier lists at the time that we liked that supported Gigantamaxing, we more or less made one from scratch with some guidelines from the APA, like the one hosted by Pokeaim's channel. That's probably the closest one you're going to get to our tier list. If you want to skip the explanation of how this all works, skip to this time right here for if you just want the picks. Now for this PokéSpot Draft Cup, there was a focus on keeping the power level lower than average to promote a heavier team building rather than incentivizing people to play with their top half of their team. Since every team gets 12, most of the time they draft the strongest and they don't bother dipping into the lower tiers every week. We wanted to promote some lower tier usage. And I think we did a great job in that regard. Each coach gets a each coach gets a Gigantamaxer, one of each tier, which there are 5 of, and an extra tier 3. They also get 260 free agent points, which stands for FAP, which allow them to better customize their team. They must draft 5 free agents, no more nor less, which brings their count to a 12 mons on their team. As shown, tier 1 costs 120, tier 2 costs 100, tier 3 60, tier 4 40, and tier 5 costs 20 FAP. Coaches can choose any order they like as long as points don't exceed the 260 limit. Gigantamaxers are also tiered, as not all Gigantamaxers are created equal. Drafting a tier 1 Gigantamax will cost an extra, while drafting a tier 5 will give you more FAP to make your team less Gmax focused. Now, who is where on the tier list? Let's talk about that real quick. For the sake of balance and less powerful PDC, Gigantamaxers can only hold a Pokeball. This is so they don't run away with games. It's a huge nerf, but a welcome one. The bans were made in the mindset of a Pokemon that doesn't have reasonable answers or checks, or if a Pokemon warps the meta too much to where everyone drafts a Water Absorber for like Dracovish. I could not remember the name. We didn't want that to happen. Certain mons for the team that picks up a threat, it should be banned for that reason, you know. And here are the bans. Okay, so bans are pretty straightforward. All the megas are banned. Things like Ubers, Box Legends are banned, like Arceus. There are some controversial ones on here, you know, like not Weedle is banned. That's just a given. Can't have that. But other things like Protein Ninja and even Libero Cinderace are banned from this tournament. We just wanted to keep things more friendly, less sweaty. Things like Dracovish are also banned. Darmanitan Galar form is obviously banned. That thing causes way too much of a threat, too much team building around it. It basically, we didn't want to put it in things like tier 1. We thought it was either too strong, or things like Dracovish where we didn't feel like it deserved to be tier 1 because it does get shut down, but it warrants too much team building, too much centralizing in the draft process. We didn't want it. Melmetal, for the same reason, is gone. It was really contested. I should touch on the Libero Cinderace. So Cinderace, I don't think is an issue. We might unban it for the next one, for number 5. However, we know Greninja can get out of hands, and we didn't want to take a chance on it. So we said, you know what? The new abilities came out. Screw it. We're just going to ban it. And that'll be fine. We'll see what happens when we have more meta data on it, like on Showdown and stuff. What else? Mew was banned. Mew, too powerful this time around. It got too much stuff from Gen 8. In previous drafts, it was really fun to pick. It was really clever. You could do so many things with it. Phenomenal tier 1. This time, too strong. Has too many options. Can easily run away with games. Thing was like Dragon Dance now. Tapu Lele is banned. Kind of the same reason that Melmetal. It's just not fun. to get swept by a terrain boosted choice specs top of the way. Even though it is strong, it has counterplay. We just didn't think it was fun. Urshifus are gone. But there was one person that really wanted them. No, thank you. I don't need that in my draft. Thanks. Obviously, Box Legends are also gone. So I think that covers everything. I don't think I forgot anything. So with that being said, let's move on to the next bit. I should clarify, we're in the National Dex AG format on Pokemon Showdown for this draft. We'll probably do I think I found a Sports League server on Showdown that we can use next time that'll be more regulated instead of anything goes. So here's looking forward to that. I also forgot Kartana. Who knew? I forgot one. Same reason, it'll just snowball way too easily. We just think it's more friendly to keep it out for this time at least. Now on to the tier list. It's custom made. Thank you to all the other coaches for help making this as balanced as possible. I couldn't have done it without your help. For our philosophy, tier 1s are thought as mons. You can slam onto any team comp that other coaches would have to play around. Tier 2s are less powerful. They're very strong still, but you might not they may not be your sweeper or your ace, but they'll still win. And they're more matchup dependent. Like you might not bring them every week. Tier 3s are supposed to be the average, the par. This is a good building block ground. You might bring them every week if you really like them. You might not. Some are better than others, obviously, but these are very matchup dependent. Tier 4s are weaker than them. They're going to be more situationally strong. They can be very good against certain teams. There might be some counter picks, some techs in there, but they're mainly more situational. And then tier 5s are your niche, your memes. They will probably not be brought most weeks. Some weeks they'll be there. If you just want to style on someone, that's what they're there for too. Let it be known that these are made in the context before Crown Tundra and Isle of Armor updates. So things like Regigigas are tier 5 because it doesn't have sub or protect. But that is probably going to have to change. We're going to do some revisions when we get to Draft Cup number 5. But if you want a picture of these tier lists, or if you want to copy them, make your own league, here they are. Feel free to use them. With that being said, who the hell did everybody choose? For this, we used a randomized snake style for the ordering, so the winner will get to go decide where they want to be first. Steve won PDC 3, so he chose first. So he will choose first before everybody else, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to 16, but when it hits 16, it reverses and goes 16, 15, 14. So even though Steve gets first pick, he won't pick again until another 31 Pokemon are picked. And then it'll reverse again. So 1, 2, 3 goes 16, then 16 again, 15, 14, all the way down to 1, then 1 again, and that's one full cycle. And we're going to do 6 of those for 12 Pokemons each. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so the order is Steve, Joel, John, myself, Dan, Maurice, Louise, Quinn, Gabriel, Jake, Fabian, Whitney, Scott, Carl, Victor, Anker, and Michael drew the short stick. He is last, but he'll get to pick twice. He'll just have to wait 32 picks to pick 2 every time. So Steve, spoiler alert, wanted rain. He had rain last time, wants rain again. What does he pick? Tourney Asterion. This is a problem because that's like Fabian's ace. So, funny thing happened. We go down to the next one. Blastoise chose. I am third pick. I stand Jirachi. That is my boy. That is my child. That is my son. So I picked up Jirachi. No surprise there. Dan picks up Celesteela. Very powerful. Maurice is a kind of wild card. He's very inventive with these sets. So he chose Garchomp. Very standard. Everyone's choosing some straight power. Clefable has been chosen by Louise, then Togekiss by Quinn, who joined a little late, but it's okay. What's next? Oh, Conkeldurr, very strong pick by Gabe. Landorus Therian picked up by Jake. Zeraora picks up by Fabian. Latias by Whitney. Volcarona chosen by Scott. Carl chooses Buzzwole, which is he's known for. It's very controversial Pokemon in previous cups. Cresselia is picked up by Victor, one of his signature mons. Sylveon by Anker to Fabian's dismay. He was trying to make a cat team. That was one of his ones he was going to pick up. And then Hawlucha by Michael. There weren't very many obvious snipes except for the Tornadus. But Fabian gets his revenge in the next one. Alright, Michael's up again. Round 2. He picks up a boot. Very, very weird pick. This early, that's like a tier 3 if I'm not mistaken. I think we made it tier 3 or tier 2. But he picks it up. He thinks Libero is going to be good anyways, even if it's not fully evolved. We'll have to wait and see. Anker picks up the Pelipper, so he's maybe drafting a rain team too, or just sniping it from someone else, knowing that Steve's probably going to do it. Victor picks Arcanine. Very solid mon. Tier 1, I think. It's all you could ask for out of a draft mon. Infernape, probably the best draft Pokemon in my opinion. It does so many things. Ferrothorn gets picked up by Scott. Whitney picks up the boy Steelix. Fabian snipes Kingdra. Just a big giant middle finger now that we know Steve is doing rain at this point. So he says, no, you're not having it. You stole Tornadus Therian. No. Alakazam picked up by Jake. Dragapult is selected by Gabriel. That's very strong. So Gabe has Conkeldurr and Dragapult. That's terrifying. Quint gets up Grimmsnarl. Desklops by Louise. Ditto by Maurice. This is what I'm talking about. This is like one of his aces. G-Max Grimmsnarl by Dam. So both Grimmsnarls are out. By the way, I should mention, if you have one, if you have the non-Dynamax, you can't have the Dynamax as well. But both forms can be drafted since one is going to be itemless, essentially. I pick up Komodo. It's part of my core. You'll see him in the next round. Joel gets Galvantula, beautiful pick, and Ludicolo to Steve because he's rain. It's rain. And we're back at Steve again, rebounding with the Politoed. I guess he needs something to make the rain after all, and Pelipper's already been taken by Anka. Very suspicious. Joel picks up a Swampert. I pick up Togetic because Togekiss was taken, and that is my core, Jirachi, Komodo, Togekiss. Neoking goes to Dan, pretty strong. Tangela, one of Maurice's iconic Pokemon, and certainly not going to be a meme at all whatsoever down the road. Stakataka, Dawn Fan, picked up by Luis, then Quinn. Bronzong goes to Gabriel, and DD Male, which is different from DD Female because they have different stats and different moves, very slightly. Vanillux goes to Fabian, getting that clutch Blizzard Setter and Freeze Dry user, as it appears there's going to be a lot of rain in this tournament. Two teams already drafting it. Electrus, iconic mon for Whitney, has never passed it up, just turns out pick 3 was the time to get it. Mimikyu goes to Scott. G-Max Blastoise, one of the better G-Maxes out of the whole tournament. This thing can carry. It gets Shell Smash. It does not set rain though, as it's the Gigantamax Blastoise. It'll do damage over time at the end of each turn. So it can't set rain, but it can definitely sweep. So you gotta watch out. G-Max Lapras immediately followed up by Victor. I think this is a tier 3 mon, maybe tier 4, I can't remember. Powerful pick, not to be slept on. It gets free screens basically, and it can set rain as its Gigantamax move is ice, not water. Thunderous Staring going to Anker, so at this point it's like becoming very apparent that Anker also has rain team. And then Michael gets Toxapex, rounding it out. Michael gets to pick another time. Rillaboom is what he picks up, so now he has Hawlucha and a Terrain Setter, so that's going to be dangerous. Kaputop's going to Anker, definitely 100% rain team. So now there's 2 rain teams in this tournament. Delmise gets picked up by Victor. Gligar goes to Carl, which is funny because we put Gligar and Gliscor in the same tier for some reason. I'm not sure why it was voted on. But he chooses Gligar over Gliscor. It's very strange. Scott picks up Run and Wash. Incineroar gets picked up by Whitney. Salazzle going to Fabian. I guess it's cat-like. Mandibuzz, yeah, that's not ominous whatsoever. Muck Alola goes to Gabriel, fantastic tier 3 mon. G-Max Alcremie going to Quinn. So this is tier 4, so he'll actually get more points for this. Slowbro, just the regular form going to Louise. More Trick Room Enabler. Latios picked up by Maurice. Not something we normally see from him, but it's a very high potential mon. Jolteon gets picked up by Dan. Amoonguss goes to me, and that's like off the record. You'll see at the end of this tournament, or at the end of this draft, why I picked up Amoonguss. Heatran going to Joel, and G-Max Rillaboom goes to Steve. Interesting choice. I guess it helps the rain. Alright, as usual, Steve gets to pick again. It looks like he goes for the Tapu Koko. So now he has a rain team with the Tapu Koko. Very powerful. We'll see what he has to do with it, though. It's not optimal because Kingdra was still sniped by Fabian. Joel picks up Goodra, solid mon. Max Orbeeble, this is a steal in my opinion. I probably should have re-tiered this, but everyone was chill with it, so it stayed tier 4. Awesome Gigantamax, 100% recommend, especially because you get Gravity, which will come in important later for me. Him on top goes to Dan, solid mon. Dodrio by Maurice, this is a slept on mon. Dodrio, very nice. In the right hands too. Pincherin, absolute menace, going to Louise. More going to... Sorry about that, my audio got screwed up. Going back to where we left off. Quinn is going to pick up Jellicent. Gabriel picks up the threatening Zapdos in tier 1. Jake snags Vaporeon. I hear they are very durable. Nothing else about that. Fabian gets Volbeat. That's terrifying. Whitney gets the damn elephant. G-Max Copperaja. Scott picks up Claydol. Carl gets a bulky Dusknoir. Victor gets Gramble. Really kind of early in the draft. That's interesting. Ankur gets G-Max Appleton since the Lapras was sniped. And Michael picks up G-Max Garbodor. I think something else got sniped for him too. As usual, Michael gets to go again. Picks up Ribombee, one of my favorite Pokemon and to play with in draft at least. Sticky Webs is not to be slept on. Ankur also picks up Klefki, the Boo Boo Keys, the absolute menace. Victor, Togedemaru, one of his more iconic picks, very threatening in his hands. We'll just have to see what he does with this time. Carl picks Duraludon, easily the Blacephalon of the new gen. By that I mean Blacephalon is the worst. Ultra Beast, fight me. Zygarde, 10% goes to Scott. Excellent mon. Frostlass picks up by Whitney. Suicune, absolutely hate it, goes to Fabian. I guess it's cat-like. Poliwrath goes to Jake. I'd never see this mon get used. We'll see. We'll have to see what he does with it. Primarina goes to goes to Gabriel. Yeah, Crozma, tier 1, picked up by Quinn. Very threatening. We'll have to see what he does with it. Calcion going to Lewis. Another slow mon. This mon has 140 special defense. I don't know if everybody knows that. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely wild. Adino picked up a Maurice. Like I said, this guy's very interesting with his picks. I don't know the mysteries behind him, but he clearly does. Northern goes to Dan. I pick up Tyrantrum on a whim. I now have G-Max Orbeetle. I can just gravity people easy on a damaging move, and I won't miss my head smash. It's great. Moltres, very nice mon, going to Joel, and Nidoqueen gets picked up by Steve. And that's going to do it for our halfway point. Looks like we have 2 rain teams going so far. I'm just rocking out with a solid core and some fun picks. Dan has a very threatening team so far. I don't like it one bit. Maurice, very weird, but very admirable picks. It's nothing to sleep on. Louise has a Trick Room team, it looks like. Quinn has some solid picks too. Gabe's absolute monster team, if you look at his picks so far. Landorus, oh, why did I say Landorus? Jake's team, very admirable. I don't think it's like too crazy, but he's a very capable trainer, so it's nothing to scoff at. Whitney, some absolute classics coming from her corner. Scott's doing well too. Carl, he loves the bulk. He has some threatening mons. Victor, I don't like that he's getting all of his favorites for free. I don't like that one bit. We'll have to see what happens. He has a very iconic Cresselia set that I think no one uses, but they really should. But I don't play mons competitively, so maybe I'm totally wrong. And then Michael has a very nice core with the Hawlucha and the Rillaboom. That's just dangerous. We just need some special attackers, but Rabambi's there as well. And then Ankar's the second rain team, so that's what's happening so far. We're gonna move ahead on to the second round of picks, starting off with Steve again. He's going to snag Uxie this time around. Miltank goes to Joel. I snipe Lapras. I didn't mean to. It was just like a freeze-dry mon. We have 2 rain teams, and the one that I sniped was actually Anker using rain. So of course the rain guy wants to beat the other rain guy easily. So, oh well, boohoo. Pukimuku goes down. Absolutely hate this mon. Screw Pukimuku. I don't like it. Why? Why does it have to be there? Skarmory definitely sniped by Maurice. Good job. Good for him. Japan goes to Louise. Crobat gets picked up by Quinn. Shaman gets picked up by Gabriel. Underrated mon, in my opinion. It's so cute. Matane goes to Jake's. Umbreon is picked up by Fabian. Comfy. This thing's a devil. It needs. I'm bumping this up. It's something. It's gross. It's absolutely gross. Comfy just has +3 with triage. That's faster than E-Speed. Why? Why does it need that much priority? That's dumb. Gmax Butterfree goes to Scott. Very nice pick. I'm surprised no one picked that up sooner. Wheezing Galar. This was a mon I wanted so bad, but I had to prioritize other stuff for her, so it's really sad. Arctovish coming up by Ankar, and Articuno gets picked up by Michael because we all know Freeze Dry is the name of the game this time around. Alright, back around to Michael picking up Thievul. Definitely was a snipe. I tried looking up. I can't remember who he sniped it from, but it was a hard snipe. Can't really say it's a hard snipe. It's like round 8, but this the weirdest thing. The lower picks are the ones that hurt the most. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know why. Maybe it's because you don't expect it. I don't understand it. Palisand goes to Anker. Absolute monster of a wall. Dubwool. Oh, I hate this mon. I absolutely hate it. It is the bane of my existence. It gets Cotton Guard. It gets Steadfast. It has Body Press. It's base 80 speed for some ungodly reason. I don't like it. And it goes to Victor, who knows how to use it. Alamomola is such a fun word. Alamola, haha. Carl picks that up, another fat mon with Regenerate, absolutely terrifying. Scott gets a Rain mon with, or it's not a Rain mon. It does have Freeze Dry. Snow Warning, I can't remember. So frail, so weak. Let's see if it puts in any work. Whitney picks up the Mighty Crawdont. Fabian, absolute baller play. Picks up G-Max Meowth. That is a tier 5, only 1 of 3, the other being Eevee and Pikachu for his all-cat team. So he actually gets 40 more points to pick other members with. So it was pretty nice. And then following up right after is G-Max Pikachu going to Jake. He wasn't a fan of the G-Max mechanic in this tournament. He just wanted to play with normal mons, so now he has 40 more points to do that. A third G-Max. Colossal going to Gabriel, arguably the worst G-Max according to, or worst Gen 8 mon according to Fabian. I think it has potential. It's kind of memey though, and that goes Gabe. Basculin goes to Quinn. This thing gets head smash. Absolutely monster. Appleton goes to Louise. Wait, what? Oh, G-Max Appleton was sniped. That's right. G-Max Charizard goes to Maurice. Nice mon. Can Dragon Dance, gets boost in speed if it uses any flying move, is pretty good. Pyro going to Dan, he's used up a lot of his FAP, so now he has to pick some lower picks to round it out. I pick up the fast, the incredible Linoon. I will always stand my Pokemon. Fight me, I just can't remember all the passion behind everybody else's picks, sorry. Spiritomb, excellent choice, love that mon, goes to Joe. And Steve rounds out this round with Magneton, which is a snipe, though I can't remember who he sniped it from. Alright, only 3 more rounds to go. We're going to pick it back up right where Steve left off. He gets to pick again. Spinda, the absolute meme. Its base stat total, totals 360. Absolute funny. Ridiculous mom. I didn't think there was like a memeier pick than Meowth. There is. It's Spinda. 110%. Joel gets Diancie, Stunfisk. I sniped... Oh, who did I snipe? I'll probably put it on the screen right now. Stunfisk is a god among gods. It destroys Tapu Koko, and that's all it needs to do. It's surprisingly bulky, and ground electric is something I love. I didn't have a ground type, that's why I got it. Or an electric type, so it fit. Dan picks up Ambipom, very threatening. I like the frail Last Resort set. Maurice picks up Barbarical, Shell Smasher, dangerous in his hands. G-Max Duraludon gets picked up by Louise. His team is almost thoroughly Trick Room only. Not to say that you have to run it though. Beware gets picked up by Quinn. Golurk to Gabriel. Jake picks up Scissor. Apparently he had some more points. This is where he picks up his tier 1. Runigiris goes to Fabian. Machamp is picked up by Whitney. Ballermon. Slowking picked up by Scott. Also incredible. It gets teleport this time. So I think that was like halfway through the tournament. I can't remember. Maybe. I can't remember. Destructive. Absolutely destructive. Where do we leave off? Oh, Vikavolt. Going to Carl. Menacing Bug. If you haven't used it, use it. Highly recommend, especially in draft. Victor picks up Absol. That thing's hilarious. That thing has way too much attack. That thing needs to be stopped. But luckily, anything kills it. Ankar picks up Swallow. Love it. My favorite of the birds, for sure. And Michael ends this round with Meowstic Male. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, almost done. Couple rounds left. Alright, Empoleon gets picked up by Michael. Back to back. Ankar picks up Shiinotic because grass types are a thing. And he's a rain team. Victor picks up Gloom. I think he wanted Sleep Powder? I can't remember the reason for it. Carl needs a bulky grass type as well, so Torterra is who he's picking up. Pangara goes to Scott. Oranguru picked up by Whitney. Interesting. Fabian picks up Zatu. It has a cat-like design on its front. Golem Alola, the Alola version of Golem, goes to Jake. That thing is scary. And you'll see why towards the very end of this tournament. Let's see. Indeedee Female gets picked up by Gabriel. Morpeko gets picked up by Quinn. Sir Fetch, absolute lad, gets picked up by Louise. Which is devastating because he has Trick Room, so this thing's going to be potent. Maurice picks up Durant. If we all played the Gigantamax meta in Gen 8, that thing's a beast. Musharna is picked up by Dan. Rapidash, I needed a fast fire type. I like it. It gets Swords Dance. Amolga goes to Joel, and Gorbis goes to Steve. And then, last 2 rounds, let's see what everyone picks up. Steve picks up Wigglytuff, the Dragapult counter. Vigoroth is picked up by Joel. I pick up Gorygeist. That thing's awesome. In this draft, you'll get every single form of it because its only thing that changes is its stats. So that's pretty neat. I have some interesting plans for that. Musharna is picked up by Dan. Fun fact, I put 2 Musharnas on the tier list. Both tier 4 and tier 5. Like a smart person, he picks up the tier 5 one. Chatot. Okay, I said, okay. Does this count as a bird? It's not like a route bird, right? Like at the beginning of the game. I love Chatot. I was really thinking about picking up Chatot. It kind of got soft sniped for me. I'm glad it's on Maurice's team. He knows what to do with it. Oricorio goes Louise. He gets all 4 typing forms. Miss Maggie is picked up by Quinn. Ballermon. Livani goes to Gabe. This mon is if you want sticky webs and ran out of options because everyone picked up everything else. Simisear, deceptively fast, goes to Whitney. Floatzel's picked up by Scott. Rodham Fan, the baller snipe from Carlo, shooting down Whitney. Devastating, absolutely devastating. Gastrodon is picked up by Victor. I'm surprised no one drafted this thing. This thing's like, we all know how good Gastrodon is. It's one of his favorite mons. And he waited to pick 11 to get it. That's insane. I would have picked it up sooner. If I cared about Gastrodon. But he does, so I don't know. Ankar picks up a Huntail, which is scary because he has a rain team. That thing gets Shell Smashed. And Michael picks up Boltund. That thing is a Pokemon. Yep. Alright, last round, round 12. Let's see what everyone's last picks are. You know, nothing bad can happen. Okay, if you get... Can we call this a snipe? Is this even a snipe? If you stand out in the middle of the field and someone comes up next to you, walks you, pulls the trigger, is that a snipe? That's what happened because Michael picks up Murkrow right beneath Ankar as he announced it. That's why you play your cards close to your chest, kids. Don't announce stuff in the general chat. He's forced to pick up Redicate Alola instead. Lol. Victor picks up a tier 1 Salamence. Who knew he had the points? So that's crazy. Carl picks up Lunatone. It got some new tech this gen, so that'll be fun to watch later. Luxray, Ballermon goes to Scott. Roselia is picked up by Whitney. Ferroseed by Fabian. That's kind of a low-key snipe. Jake gets Kadabra, which is... Why is that tier 5? Manectric gets Manectric gets Gabriel. Gabriel gets Manectric. Noctowl goes to Quinn. Louise picks up Mudzale, another Slowmon. That's terrifying. Myanna goes to Maurice. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody use Myanna, so we'll have to see what happens. Sawsbuck picked up by Dan. Notably a sap sipper, but I don't know why he needs it. I pick up Regigigas. Don't get your hopes up. It doesn't get sub or protect yet. And even when it does, I can't use it. G-Max Machamp goes to Joel as the second to last pick. And Throw was picked up by Steve as his last Mon. He didn't really care about the tier 5s, sadly. He's not a cultured trainer. But hopefully one day he will see the light. Alright, that makes everything. If you want more detailed breakdowns of all the teams, I'm going to be doing all that in the next couple of videos. I'll do it division by division, so look out for that. Realize I didn't talk about the full rosters once they're picked, so if you were wondering what they look like, here they are on screen. They're colored by division. I'll do a big breakdown in the next video, but in case anybody was wondering what they look like, here you go. That one. Until then, we'll see you next time, but first, let's pay our respects.
What you say? Let it all anyway. But across your head, what you say? What you say? Let it all anyway. What you say? But across your head, what you say? What you say?
And my name is Caesar Salad.